seems like quite the contrast to look at where you played last weekend and where you get to play this weekend. I mean, outside of the fans and the support that you'll have at home, how glad are you guys just to get out on a soccer field and play a proper game?
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to it. Pittsburgh's a difficult opponent. It always is when we play each other, but we're excited to be out, obviously back at home in front of our fans, and hopefully can put on a performance that everybody can be proud of.
It's obviously early, but for them to be 0-2, I'm sure that they're not lacking any sort of motivation coming in. But since you did just see them in the preseason, how does that change, or does it change the way that you may prepare for a regular season game?
Yeah, it won't change anything, obviously. We felt against Orange County they had a really good performance. Didn't finish their chances. Still a good team, an organized team. Bob's a great coach. So, as I said at the beginning, this is going to be a difficult test for us, for sure. But one that I know our boys are going to be prepared for. And it's been a good week of training up to this point. So we're excited to get out there.
You mentioned good week of training. What is the mood when you start 1-0 and you get that away win? I know last year you guys talked a lot about wanting to get the job done on the road and come home with a perfect record.
Yeah, we talked this week about making sure that we get back to making Lynn Family a fortress, right? And we felt that training this week has been intense in a good way, competitive in a good way. You got a lot of guys that are hungry that want to play, and you have guys that don't want to lose their spot in the lineup. And so it's made for a great environment. The players are, as I said, in a good way, and the culture has been fantastic, supporting one another but challenging one another. So, we're excited about where we're at, and the hope is to make sure that we execute the game plan on Saturday, and we do it with a group that, as I said at the beginning, everyone can be proud of.
Is that idea of a home fortress, compared to last year where
Yeah.
you guys lost a few more times
Yeah.
at home?
It's making sure that teams, I said this to them the other day, teams want to come here to play because it's Lynn Family Stadium, but I want them to leave here not wanting to come back. And that's a big thing. And I think we have a group that has the ability to do that. And as I said, it's making sure that we perform well.
We were talking to Hayden Stamps a little bit about his opportunity, just how young he is with this new rule that allows players to be on the bench for home games if they're under 17. Do you know yet if he'll be on the bench for tomorrow? And what does that process look like of how you may use him, when you might be able to use him?
Yeah, so, long-winded answer here, but first, for him to sign his academy contract, it's the next phase in his development. He's been with us all of preseason. We obviously followed him last year, had him in a few training sessions last year. He's doing a really good job, and with this new rule that the league has implemented, I fully agree with it. I think it's excellent from a player development standpoint, the ability to put a player on the bench and not take away from the other 18 if it's a player that you're developing in your own backyard. I think it's important for the player's development to feel those feelings, to be involved with the players on a game day, to understand what comes with if your number's called or if it isn't. All those feelings are going to be real, and they're a part of the development. With regard to tomorrow night, he'll be dressing with the group. We'll take advantage of the new rule. And then as far as him being utilized, that's going to completely be dictated on how is he training, how is he performing. Yes, he'll be involved in the game day squad, but that doesn't necessarily he's going to play until we feel he's ready or that he's earned it, just as we have with all of our academy players that have come through. But for him, his focus needs to be on continuing to improve every day, which he has, growing with the group, which he has, and enjoying this process because he's got a bright future.
Talking to Elijah, just perspective. Elijah was really the first kid to come through and train with the pros and do that here. But it's happened so many times now. How do you feel like that advantages somebody like Hayden when they come in and that pathway is clear, but also the environment and the standard has been set that you are going to have younger guys around and this is part of what the club is striving to do?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important for players in their decision-making process, understanding that at Louisville City they do have a pathway to play for the first team, especially obviously when the player is from our academy and from Louisville. And I think for him to be able to look at Elijah and look at Owen and look at Josh and look at all these players, Jogo, that have come through, I think it's important that they understand that, as I said, they have a real chance and they have to take the opportunity. But they also have players they can lean on that have been through it, that have been through the ups and the downs that come with being a young pro, an academy player within a first-team environment. But I think he's certainly in a position where he can thrive and continue to improve in his development.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks.